All right, so let's talk about this because you clearly have me messed up. First.
No, I don't, bro. Because
you gonna say I'm more? You're more invested in the podcast than I am.
I just feel like I don't feel the same energy.
Let me tell you something.
No, bro.
You know what?
Let me tell you something.
No,
you already told us enough.
No, let me tell you something.
Everyone,
you talked the whole last podcast.
No, I talked the whole last
quiet.
one. Okay.
I ain't come in to the end, and when I came in at the end, I only hit with the fire.
What they got to do with that?
Anyway,
that has nothing to do.
That. You are not more invested in me. We just show our passions differently.
This is perfect because this is a perfect example. It was a perfect example why it's important to share what you feel and not assume. When we were talking about assumptions in relationships.
Yeah, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Mm-hmm. You and me.
You assume, so you made an ass.
Okay, but I did it out of you and me, so that's the problem. We in this together. Chris and memes. But anyways, so
I feel like we just went straight in, bro. No,
we did.
Just
it's perfect.
No,
How y'all doing?
Hey guys. Hey, I have my little adult drink.
She has an adult drink.
Yes, folks. Nice little vibe because Eric and Chris was stressing me out.
Now Eric and Chris was stressing me out.
Yeah, when Chris talks about relationships, she means both, and both just be stressing me.
Okay, bro. Nah, everything has been like what?
Ship and my marriage.
Your husband ship?
Oh, my husband. I love you, babe.
She loves you.
What'd you say, babe?
Yeah, Mary's a little bit sometimes, but it's okay. We got to work with her. Sometimes, like, I had a conversation with her today, and it's perfect because, like, I was with her, and then I was going to hang out with my other friend. Shout out to Brandy. And it was funny because I literally, like, it just be a running joke because we call each other mama because we be taking care of, like, I be taking care of her. No, but I feel like I really be the mom sometimes in my friendship relationships. So, like, it literally be little moments of like you got up out the seat and there was crumbs all in it. And then Brandy left my car and she spilled hot sauce on the seat. And I was cracking up because I was like, I literally had 2 kids in my car today.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm your sister.
Yeah, I know.
Your mom is my mom.
Okay, I know, but whatever.
You're not mommy. It's one of those. Your mom is mommy. Me.
I know.
Mom made us avocado toast this morning, which was so bomb.
Here she goes. It was good.
Drizzle dress.
But anyways.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let me tell you something. The moms make the best popcorn too. Don't let her, I get in the house, she be giving me all type of trinkets. She was like, I can't wait till autumn get here. I'll be telling her all type of stuff.
That's the thing about it. I really be telling my mom she needs to chill because my mom be trying to say all this stuff but she really be just, like she just sometimes be saying stuff, but she be taking any opportunity to make somebody some popcorn.
Yeah, she can. And my husband Eric, he love her popcorn. She popped us a whole fresh bag the last time. I was
right, barely made it
though. I will say this though. I set it in the kitchen, Chris. It was gone.
Yep. Low key, I'm surprised we made some of it to him because
that was
surprising.
Going to town.
Low key,
going to town. But I said that to say that you're my sister.
I know, but
it's like a big sister, even though I'm the bigger sister by a month and like 3 days. It's
role switch a lot. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Okay. So that's what it is. A lot. No, just playing.
But that's with some wisdom every now and again.
I know, bro. Like when I gotta come to you about,
you don't be coming to me about nothing.
Yeah, I don't really come to her about much. No,
don't get me started.
No, but once I get married, then I'll come to you about a lot of things more so because she just can't wait to have sexual talks. And you guys, you know what? Yeah. We're gonna have
shout out to the sexual talks.
We'll have a talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about
you. Oh God, we got a baby in the room.
For a second, we forgot that we were not in this space by ourselves. My amazing 6-year-old is here, so we will talk about this at another time. And luckily, thankfully, she's too busy coloring, so she can't acknowledge anything that's happening in here.
Here's the thing about it. That's a facade.
She's listening.
Yeah, or she's listening and all. She's making
it's all good. Anyway.
Yes. Lots of things just came out right now. It was alright.
It's okay. We're going to pray real hard. Trying to come back with the holy oil. Bless my daughter.
I do. All right. Anyways. So what I was telling you about was that we really just, anyways, what I was telling you about was like, it's been like a lot of like this theme of relationships coming up in my friend circle. And I thought two things. I thought it was interesting that you had brought up last time, like how, you know, you're trying to have more friendships like with married people or whatever, and like trying to get more, you know, it's just like, it's definitely necessary to have. Unfortunately, I'm not married yet, so
no, but all the relationships and friendships I have now are like needed. My fear has always just been like, I don't want to ever like scare anybody or make somebody think like, damn, is like this marriage thing like really what it's cut out to be, as well as like for people, but for people to like look at Eric and I and just be like, oh, we not perfect, but there is truly beyond love, there's loyalty and there's like friendship. So it doesn't really matter. So my friendships with you guys are necessary. Like I need y'all, but I don't be wanting to scare y'all.
Now you want to scare us? I don't
want to scare you, cool. Chris. No. You know, we be at the dinner table, you know, our pasta sisters, you know, ready to throw forks at each other.
I know. Then it just be like, no, well, honestly, my fear would just be marrying you. I'm just like, and luckily that's not.
Oh damn!
Luckily that's not use that as a clip. But anyways, that's why I said, dang, God bless E's heart. I just want to say, I just be wanting to make sure, you know, like that's why sometimes the attention goes to E sometimes, because I'll be like, you know what, whatever you need to get through.
Okay,
no, I'm just kidding. She hates when I do this. It's okay.
I'm actually love like you, a wonderful catch.
I know you are, bro.
You know, like a great
but it's funny
woman. You know, like just super dope.
She is. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, damn, but don't play me. Like, I know, bro. You know?
I'm just kidding. But not really. But I am.
It's a balance.
No, it is a really good balance. It's funny, but I just be like, yeah, thank God E is, you know, here in the world.
Chris,
all right,
let's move on.
Okay, so nevertheless, so I only brought that up to say, like, you know, anyways, like there's still like a lot of singleness around you, but then you also have this balance, which I always tell you that I value and I really like. I like look up to the fact that you have, even though you are married, you have this balance of like knowing how to really still relate to your friend group and be relevant and present with your friends that are not married. You be like,
amen.
You know, if anything, I'll be like feeling like I'll act like I'm more married than you. Not like that.
No,
not that ain't being inappropriate. But yeah, like.
No, you're not being inappropriate, bro. Yeah, people who thinking weird is being inappropriate.
You go.
Like, let me tell you, to add to that though.
Don't
like,
point your juice at me.
Oh, sorry, Chris. Chris doesn't want my adult juice because Chris isn't ready to be an adult.
No, I'm not
yet.
ready.
So,
want to do it.
Anywho, I thank you for those kind words, and I will say, like, I will never forget. Like somebody was like, "Oh yeah, you need to watch like what women or what friends you bring into your household because you never know." And I've just been big on this. The Lord has gave me a pretty good sense of discernment to smell anything or anybody who means no goodness in this household. And the friends that I have are friends that are, one, loyal to the soil, and two, would never do any type of things. And I know people say, oh, never say never. No, I'm going to say it.
Never.
Let me say why I'm going to say never.
Oh, God.
Because they know that I'll chop them all up into a million pieces, and I mean it. Yep.
Yep.
And you can use this as a reference when I'm going to jail.
Oh, Jesus.
They say, what happened?
Okay, let's
go to podcast.
Okay.
Chris, it means episode 6.
This is episode 6, bro.
10 minutes into it.
I'm trying to make it to 7 because I heard after 7, it's like,
oh, really?
You make it past 7.
Down.
Bro.
Oh, it's okay though. You know what? It doesn't matter. You know why?
Why?
Because we love the people.
The people.
And the people love us.
Yes.
And even if we don't have a lot of people,
yeah,
we
just still gonna keep talking.
We gonna talk.
Thing about it.
Yeah.
The show goes on.
Yeah. But back to what you were saying. Back to what you were saying, bro. I appreciate it. I thank you.
Blessings
for that. Feels good.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome to have that. So if anything, that's what I do look up to, and that's what I do look forward to embracing when I do get married. When I do get married.
Yeah, sis, you gonna get married.
I'm gonna get married one day, y'all. It's gonna be crazy. Anyway. Okay. But okay, so the thing that's been like a common like trend is like these strong, like amazing women that you pretty much know all of them actually, like for them to, in some capacity. It's still some of my close friends that you got to meet, but like for the most part, that
talk about that later.
You know, I know, godly, I knew he was gonna say, but basically, like that, I feel like just have all of these like amazing qualities and things like that. Because side note, like I really truly believe that you gravitate. Like the people, like whatever energy you give, you receive that in the people that come into your life. Like obviously we have our balance and people like, no, like we're different in certain ways, but ultimately like, you know, just like the heart position and just like the goals and like how we're striving to move in life is similar. So it's a supportive way of one another. Like we're supportive of each other's process and we add to that in some way. Amen. So I feel like that's how I am, how all of my friendships are in some capacity. So I say that to say, like, I see such value in every single one of my friends. And so when I hear them go through these like relationship issues with men and dating and like getting in these positions where they're stuck, like one of our little sis was talking to us about, like doing things that are outside of their character. Like that, yeah, bro. Like when y'all was all powwowing, and he was like, "Yeah, you need to talk to Chris." She knows who you are, who she is. Hey, but sis. You know, hey sis. But you know, her situation. I'll use that for example, since you know that story as well. And I've had friends that have had other similar situations where they're dating someone, and like it seems to be a common trend when the guy is like initially very like invested or very like about like trying to it's like that pursuit thing. And then once the girl's in a little bit,
they get the cookie or no?
Well, I mean, they could get the cookie too, but like I mean, you know, that even with me, they don't get the cookie. You know, they don't get the cookie. You a different type of person. No, but that's a whole other subject. It don't mean that anybody no post calls can't call it. Anyways, oh godly, I'm sorry if y'all don't understand nothing that we say.
It's all good. It's insiders, guys.
It's all
Chris
good.
Chris isn't ready yet.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, we'll talk about that on this SEX episode. But anyways, so what all I'm saying is that like, you know, like even just when they get to the space where they can feel that the girl is like in it, like emotionally invested, it's like they start to like detach.
Yeah.
Like have you experienced that before?
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, you know? No, for sure I have. But the other thing as well is like knowing what you want before you walk into it, as well as like not just knowing what you want, but being 100 with what you want. So like sometimes people be like, oh, I want this. And it's like in your head, like, you know, I can't even say what I really want to say. It's okay. It's filtering anyway. But girl, you know what you really want. Like, just be 100 about it. So I think that's, and again, that goes with this idea of like women being kind of like poised and supposed to project a certain way. But no, the best thing I've learned, y'all, I have an amazing sister / she's like an amazing, just like, oh, she's spiritually in tune and hood at the same time. It's so brilliant. Yeah. Amazing sister, Krishana. And I'll never forget, like, she just like used to like put me on game, but in the realest, rawest way ever. And it's like, you know, sometimes you be trying to front with your friends like, oh girl, no, I just want, and she like, well, what you really want? Like, you know, like we not gonna play this little game. And it's true, like, yeah, we have to figure out what we really want, and don't be ashamed to say what we want. You know, like life is a learning experience. If we were meant to know everything, if we were meant to do all the right things, we would be dead and with the Lord already, because that's in the word, actually. Like, ain't nobody perfect. So it's okay to acknowledge what you want. It's nothing, it is okay. The problem is when we try and put on these little facades, right, and won't acknowledge it within ourselves and not be upfront with the person either, because it's like, I learned a new term, D-boy. I was like, what, dope boy? You know, I'm a little old when D-boy stands for dope boy. Yeah. And then I soon learned, Chris, that the D does not stand, well, it stands for a different dope. That'll hook, line, and sink you. But even with, you know, if you want a little D-boy, and you saying like, oh yeah, you know, that's just my little friend. It's like, okay, girl, okay. And then turn around and you like venting, and all you venting about is emotions. Oh, you don't want a D-boy. Right. Oh, girl, you want a relationship. Oh, you want a husband? Girl, I'm sure you ain't told D-Boy that you want a husband. You know, like D-Boy ain't down for it. So that, I think that sometimes is where the problems come into place. Yeah. When it's like we're not honest with ourselves because we're scared to like unlock those chambers and be vulnerable or just be vocal about like, yo, this is what I want.
Yeah. Literally.
On top of like, guys are also afraid of being hurt too.
That's what I was about to say when you said that.
They're so afraid of being hurt too. Like, yes, when they see women opening up themselves, it scares them. Like, hell, people opening up themselves to me scares me. Like, in just regular ways. Like, I don't want it.
Yeah, you know.
But being able to...
You're just so childish.
I am. I'm a little kid at heart. Yeah, if you haven't seen me, I have 2 ponytails, guys. So I'm really a kid. Two buns.
Lovely.
But like, just they're afraid too. So being able to sift through that is so important, and really being able to like identify and acknowledge like who's worth fighting for. No one's gonna be perfect, and that's something that I was talking to my best about. Because she texted me. I meant to text her back. I'm gonna text her back. But like, there is not a perfect person. Ladies, if gentlemen too, like if you guys can hear me, there is no such thing as a perfect person. Like, this person that you're looking for may not give you the butterflies and the little jitters like that you constantly get, and some of that stuff is toxic anyway. Like, the people who you gonna get are gonna make you feel sound and level-headed and put you at peace, like allow you to be yourself. Like, there is no perfect person. So if you are looking for perfection, you will never find it. You will never find it. And while you looking for perfection in somebody else, you make sure you search that same way in yourself, because you know it's 2 sides to every story. To her, y'all. So don't do that. Don't do it to the fellas. And fellas, like, again, like it takes them a little bit more to open up, and you know, guys are supposed to be this certain way. So fear essentially pops up. That's what it is. That's what I was talking to my friend about today. And you just dropped literally all the nuggets. So like, that's great. Sorry. Yeah, I know you would say sorry. I was very impressed. I said, wow, you actually, you know, I'm a good friend.
Now you're a good friend. No, but that's literally it. Like, it just was funny because I'm glad that that you went through all that, because I literally had that exact conversation with my friend today when I was saying like a lot of the things that are keeping us from being able to be that transparent and authentic self is definitely fear, is shame, or whatever. That's like that. Every time you're trying to ask why, like, why is it like this? Just, it's fear. So you got to look at what is it fear of? That's you for you to figure out. But it's definitely fear, because if it wasn't, you would be authentic off the bat. You would figure it out, and you would know how to do it. But another thing that you said, I'm trying to think. About the fear, and then
I talked about fear.
When you talked about
scared,
being open, pretty much being open. Being able to be transparent with, like, that's again my whole thing of like the Transparency Talks movement is just like, and I felt so like fortunate to have your friend reach out to me. Your friend, I'll say, you know, she's my friend as well, but you know, she reached out to me and brought that up of just like Transparency Talks and how that inspired her to have a transparent conversation with this guy that you know, and she ended up telling me she ended up having the conversation after we got off the phone. She called and had the conversation, and she texted me like, man, like it was one of the best conversations I've ever had with him, and so many things got like unleashed, and so many just like, it was just really good. And it was just all that to say, like, it's like we're getting in our own way, and we're self-sabotaging. Oh, that was the thing too. Like, we're self-sabotaging often because we are like afraid of something to be real. We're afraid of things to look a certain way, or like we're afraid of getting hurt. Yeah. But then we never end up really getting what we want because we're preventing ourselves from getting hurt. You know what I mean? Because we're not going to go after it. So it's like, then you never win. You lose by not moving. And so the other thing that you said was like, we have been conditioned to be like in these, like what I told my friend was like in these like submissive like roles, to where the point where like the guy is taking like ownership over the process of the relationship, even if it's not a relationship, but whatever you guys are doing and going after. Like, what I've noticed, a common theme in all these conversations I've been having with my friend and things that I've experienced myself, was that like we like get in these positions where we're indecisive. We're not clear in exactly what you said. Like, we're not grounded in knowing what we want and sticking to that enough to where we put that forward enough for the guy to know, like, I'm not really being swayed from this. This is what I want. For example, if I know I'm dating intentionally and I want to get married, and you come at me and say, like, I'm just down to just chill, play around, like, you know, like, and if it gets there, it gets there. I'm going to be like, okay, cool. We are on 2 different pages. God bless you. We can be cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to me being like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm with that too. Just like what you said. It was like, oh, you're not really with that. Like with just like friends with benefits or with like that process. So really being clear on what you want and being true to yourself. And then you can and then bringing that forward.
Yeah.
So
that's good. And I agree. I think the only thing I would say is like, and again, I'm not a guy, but I've had a lot of guys around me. But I would say, like, some guys do think, like, Eric wasn't looking for marriage. You know, like, he wasn't, when we started dating, he wasn't like, I'm looking for a wife. You know, like, it became, yo, this is somebody who I can't, and I can say this because I asked him, like, this is somebody that I can't live without and I choose to live without. So, like, this is somebody who, like, thinks that marriage is important and really, really wants that, like, that union and commitment. So, okay, I'm going to commit to that. Like, so I will say, like, ladies, don't always count somebody out. Just know what, like, if you just, if you're like vibing with somebody, like, just like, you don't always have to count somebody out because you don't know what they're willing to change if they meet the right person. Like, people can change, and that's for females too. Like, ladies, you know, some ladies who are like, oh, I want to get married, I just want to vibe, blah, 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 blah. Do whatever you want to do. But when you meet that right person, like, truly, your values will shift based off of their energy. Like, and he did. He knew it was important to me. So he made the decision, you know, and it wasn't pressured. It wasn't, you know, forced. I mean, every chance I got, I shared. Like,
share. Guess what? Well, okay,
like
so
to get married.
That's a good example. I think that was a, you know, example that I shared in regards to just like the whole marriage thing, and then somebody being on a completely different page. But there's, of course, like, stipulations to that depending on you as a person. But as long as your point is getting made and you're not swaying from that, is my point. Because it's like you're saying that you want this, and then they say this other thing, and then you kind of start sugarcoat. Oh yeah, you know what? Me too. Like, it's like, okay, like,
yeah, you're shifting.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, us being able to be grounded and strong in what we want and not swaying that. Okay, at this point, you shared your thing, I shared mine. Let's, you know, we can still be cool. We could be friends. And then if you start saying, like, but now you know what my intention is. You know what I long for, what I strive for. So you can either end up deciding to, you know, explore that thought and that idea behind it. Or you can just still stick to your stuff, and you cannot be mad if I move on to talking to somebody else because I know that you're not in that space. So there's a whole bunch of stuff to it. And then it's also like, how much patience do you have? Because I feel like my patience decreased a lot. Like, my tolerance decreased a lot for somebody's potential. Like, after my last relationship, I didn't have as much tolerance for somebody to have potential to, like, to be spiritually grounded. Oh, they have potential to, like, you know, possibly go to church with me on, like, you know, every Sunday, or like they have potential to get into like a God-fearing relationship. That's just an example. But like, for things that I feel like I won't really compromise when it comes to dating, and it's like my, like, spirituality and like what I really want in a man in that area, like, that's not something that I'm in a space to be able to really compromise or sway from. But I can still be cool and friends with people like that. And then if I do start to see like their actions changing in that, on that level, on the friendship level, and I'm seeing that, then I probably will start perking up to see like, oh wow, this person like has all these things and they have this area too where they're strongly, you know, striving to get better in.
Okay.
But in regards to that whole change thing, like, I just feel like it just depends on where you're at and how much you're willing to compromise based off of your experience.
Right. No, I feel it. I definitely, I get that perspective. And it truly does. It's like it all comes with just like making sure, like Chris, you did a great thing this morning where I was like, oh, I don't know what I should do. And you was like, like let's how about you pray about it and then make a decision. And it's like, oh, well, I did a quick prayer, but truly like really praying on those things, because just making sure, and God does. He gives us the desires of our hearts, and he gives us desires that we don't even think or know are desires, which is so true and so just real. So as long as we just make sure, and these are for the spiritual people, as long as you're on one accord with God and you're praying through that stuff and just really discerning through that stuff, then, you're good to go. For my people who are not spiritual, I would say, like, just literally using your inner voice and just making sure, like, you're clear with yourself. Because my only fear is that, like, no one misses out on a blessing because of, like, our ideas,
right? Our fixed,
I get what you're saying. Mindset. So I'm like, I don't want us to like miss out on stuff, and that's anything. Like, don't miss out on stuff because you just have a fixed idea
of how it should look.
Yeah,
that's like, for example, like moms.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Audie, let me get that fan, baby. It's hot.
Oh God, you going through menopause, bro?
Girl, I don't know. This little suit is hot.
Golly. I was like, what are you over? You getting anxious and overwhelmed?
Yes, I got real hot.
I was like, you spreading that energy over here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Blessings. It's all right. Don't apologize. This is what it is.
In here, so I had to take all them.
Open the windows, bro.
Open up the windows and pour out a blessing.
Here you go. No, but that made me think about like moms, for example. Like, here she go. Okay. Oh Lord. Okay. But, that made me think about moms. Yeah. Like when she was like saying loud, she wanted to get her a pastor. Stompy. When she was like, she saw herself being like a first lady and like saw herself like marrying a pastor. And so when that happens, when we do get like fixed in those certain mindsets of how those like specific tangible things are those things that are like, what is it, like on paper, like surface things. Like when we get in that mindset, we can tend to like literally only go after those things and try to make those things work for us. Right. And then we'll go through whatever emotionally just to fit into that category. Yeah. To fit, it's like trying to fit a freaking square into a circle or whatever. Like,
And I really think like, again, whatever God has for us is for us, and it's not to say that her pastor is a pastor that's pastoring a church right now, It could be the pastor that she's going to groom.
Right. Yes. It can look, that's what I mean.
It all looks different.
Yeah.
We might, and even like when God like has people speak over us and speak over our lives, like the way that we think it may happen isn't how it always happens. You know, like, it truly is not like me saying like, oh, I want, when I get married, like I want to have a house. Like, that was something that I wanted personally, I don't think I really consulted with God in like home ownership.
Right.
And after Eric proposed, he was like, the reality of the situation is buying a house right now is not as simplistic as it used to be back in the day. Like, it's extremely expensive, and we just kind of did X, Y, and Z. But I knew, like, I was like, I wanted, like, when we said I do, not only did I want to get a house, but I wanted a big wedding too. So it's like, okay, you have quite some contradicting things. Large wedding and a house. We are not rich. But the way that God provided wasn't the way that I anticipated.
Right.
So like receiving a house through legacy, through his family having property and like homes, and like this is now you guys' home. Like, I didn't anticipate or expect that. I'm grateful for it though, one way or another. And to be able to have a house and a place for us, for it to be ours. But it doesn't always happen. I said that to say it doesn't always happen the way that we may think it is. And for ladies out there, you know, waiting for your Prince Charming may not look the way that you think he may look. You know, it may not happen the way you may think it will happen, but it will, and it can happen.
There it is. You know, I literally, like, this topic, I can go on forever because I feel like there's so many different layers to it. Like, even talking about like loneliness versus alone, and talking about where, you know, how to get grounded, like, you know, even, well, I just know my process of like, I want to say recovering from a long-term relationship was bringing it back to God and starting there and starting with myself.
I think that should be the next.
Exactly.
The next
self-love,
one,
all that. Like, I really do want to touch on that. So there's so many different things and to touch on. So I just threw those ideas out there because, you know, if you guys just let us know some things. We always say that, but nobody actually, well, you know.
Well,
I guess on
we
the side,
be having some, we have people like that
you know?
hit us up on the side. They don't
Just
be like on our social medias like that, like pressing.
Chris and Memes. Chris and Memes,
Chris and Memes, y'all.
How you spell it, bro?
CHRISANDMEEMS.
I like saying double.
Okay, well, you can't ask me how I spell
aggressive.
it. See, again, two different things.
Exactly.
Like, it'll happen the same way.
But did y'all hear my tone? I just said I like it. And she always trying to
take it so far. Tell her don't ask me stuff. Tell her don't ask me stuff because I ain't gonna say it the same way she want me to say.
That's the problem.
You know, but
just assumptions.
Chris, close this out because we got to get crab.
Because praise is what I do, bro. You got it.
When I wanna be close to you, I lift my hands.
Oh Lord! Okay, you sound like Shalina.
Oh, great.
All right, y'all. You know, we had another one. Do I always say this? Another one.
It's another one.
No, I always say.
I was trying to channel my DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled, we the best. All right, catch us Chris and Memes Instagram. We also have a YouTube page and a SoundCloud.
I had somebody ask how could they listen to the podcast today.
How can you listen to it?
And I was like, yo, you can check us out on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I was like, my brother, we trying to get iTunes.
Oh yeah, let's update them on that. Yeah, we not go. Okay, so it's up to y'all to get us on iTunes. To be honest, we need some more viewers.
We need some more
We
viewers.
need to get at least 100 viewers on each. That's kind of even not a lot. That's not a lot. Y'all could do at least 100.
That's true.
Listeners.
I got over 1,000 followers.
So exactly, bro. So we got a quarter of something.
We need at least 10%.
I don't have that yet, but
10%. Will we tithe the Lord? I need to tithe.
Lord Jesus.
All right.
Let's get off of this one now. Yeah, me too. Let's do it right now, bro. But yeah, y'all, if y'all can get us up to some more listeners, at least 100 on YouTube and 100 on SoundCloud, then maybe we can partake in the podcast.
Por favor.
We can make it happen because that stuff costs. Y'all want to send some donations too?
Right. Y'all want us to invest in this? Y'all gotta invest in us.
Y'all
listen.
You know, y'all are sisters too.
Y'all are sisters. Sis. You know, we gonna talk about that too. We can't call everybody sis.
I know that's true.
Hey girl, hey.
Yeah,
that's how I do it. Hey girl, hey.
Yeah,
when somebody throw the sis,
I throw friend.
I throw friend. Oh, you got who you get friend from?
Okay.
Friend.
No, I be saying. All right, y'all. We out of here.
Yep. Bye. Oh, yep. Autumn, you can jump on this ending here. Go ahead and say it, baby.